Welcome back to our series on divine mercy. And as you know, we've been going through the finch as an analogy. Feast, image, novena, chaplet, hour. Using that acronym to give a helicopter view about divine mercy. And today, we're going to be focusing on the image of divine mercy. So when Jesus was appearing to St. Faustina, there was one night that he appeared to her in a certain way, and he told her to paint an image of what she was seeing. And so she had an artist paint the image of exactly what she was seeing that night. And it's known as the image of divine mercy. And this is what Jesus had to say about the image of divine mercy. He says, I promise that the soul that will venerate this image will not perish. You know, I love the language that Jesus gives in the diary to St. Faustina. He's not wishy-washy. He's not like, maybe, we'll see what happens. He's like, you do this, I will do this. It's very similar to the language that he uses in the Gospels. He says, I also promise victory over its enemies here on earth, and especially at the hour of death. He says, I myself will defend it as my own glory. He continues to say, I am offering people a vessel, which they are to keep coming for graces to the fountain of my mercy. And the vessel in this image with the signature, Jesus, I trust in you. This is so important, understanding of trust. This is the key that unlocks God's mercy. His love is our trust in him. Guys, we have to remember, God sees the past and the present and the future as one present moment. Think about that. That means everything that's happening in the world, everything that's happening in your life, everything that's happening in my life, God knew was going to happen before the foundation of the world, which means he has a plan. This is good news. It's not like Jesus was in heaven being like, oh man, COVID got really out of hand. I hope they turn out okay. No, he knew it was going to happen, which means he has a plan. Now, Jesus also talks about that there are many graces that pass through the image itself. And I have profoundly experienced this. Now, I've mentioned to you in previous videos that I have OCD, which can cause tremendous fear and anxiety. And there was one point in my life where I was discerning a religious order early on in my journey. And I was flying to Italy, the order was over there. I literally get off the plane, and the thought right away hit me, am I really gonna leave my family, my friends, and America and join this order? And because of my OCD, even though remember I didn't know I had it at the time, the thought started to lodge in that if you don't leave your family, if you don't join this order, then you're turning your back on God, you're outside of his will, your whole life's gonna be pointless because he's calling you here. All absolute lies, but those, because of my OCD, those thoughts cause tremendous fear. I share that story with you because I experienced a very powerful grace through the image itself. One day I was sitting in the chapel in the midst of all of this fear and torment that I was going through. And I was by myself, I had my breviaries, I was a seminarian at that point, and I had the Divine Mercy image as a bookmark. And I remember just opening up the breviary, looking at the Divine Mercy image, looking Jesus in his eyes, and all of a sudden, I felt this tremendous wave of peace and consolation and grace hit me. It was so powerful. It was this grace of understanding that Jesus is real, and that he knew what I was going through, and that he loved me. All of my fear, all of my anxiety completely was washed away. I felt joy and consolation. It was a minor miracle. People who have OCD and are caught in their anxiety know what I'm talking about. It never just goes away like that. But it was interesting because 2.5 days later, all the fear and all the anxiety came back. And Jesus taught me 2 valuable lessons that day. There's absolute grace coming through that image. If you don't have the image of divine mercy, I encourage you to buy one or put it even on your phone. If you're like me, addicted to your phone, at least you're going to see the image and get hit by grace. And the second is that he wanted to teach me how to trust him in my suffering. It changed the whole paradigm of my understanding of suffering. The fact that Jesus took away my suffering, my fear, my anxiety, and then gave it back to me, it was almost Jesus saying to me, Colin, look, I know this is painful. And as you just witnessed, I can take this away anytime I want. But I need you to trust me. I'm inviting you to carry the cross with me. I, who am God, needed to suffer and die on a cross. And I'm inviting you for the good of your soul and for the good of people to participate in this cross with me. The fact that he gave back my suffering changed my whole understanding. And I'm thankful now to this day because if I didn't have OCD, if I didn't have that heavy cross, I wouldn't be here today sharing this story with you or have an understanding of divine mercy like the way I do now. So your heavy cross, whatever you're going through, is uniquely handed over to you for a reason, out of love coming from God. So I just encourage you, whatever cross you're carrying, whatever you're going through right now, go to the image of divine mercy. Look at Jesus' eyes in that divine mercy and hand it over to him. He will help you. Thanks for watching.